We have yet another CMMC Explained in our video series. This week, I asked Brian Hubbard to join us. Brian is our Director of the Commercial Cybersecurity Division here at Edwards Performance Solutions. He's also my boss, great guy, and very knowledgeable about all things CMMC because he has such a depth in history in working with NIST, the cybersecurity framework, 800-171 assessments now. And we both participated in the provisional assessor training last week, which was pretty eye-opening. Any big takeaways from that, Brian?
No, I thought it was good. It was, and it's interesting to see how, what the expectations are for applying the practices. So I think that was the best part of it.
Exactly. And one of the things that Brian and I were talking about afterwards is the focus that was placed on the Delta 20. Now, I just want to make sure everyone here understands the Delta 20 is not some kind of a cyber hero group that's going to fly in with capes on. Wouldn't that be fun? The Delta 20 are the 20 practices that have been added onto NIST 800-171. And surprisingly for us, as we were going through each of the practices, the Delta 20 were highlighted, called out with special attention. And Brian, I wanted to talk to you a bit about why you think that is. What does the Delta 20 represent for you?
Well, so the Delta 20 is really, I think, focused more on emphasizing the CUI protection. The DoD, 800-171 has been around since 2016, right? And so I think in trying to really shore things up, I think the DoD decided there were a few things that just weren't well covered by all the 110 practices in 800-171. So they added on these 20.
Yeah, and they're dispersed. We have about a third of them in level 2. The other 2/3 are brought into level 3.
Right.
I know in level 2, I noticed there was a lot in incident response.
Yes.
And so these 20 practices, in my mind, they're being called out in the provisional assessor course because assessors are looking for something that not being included in 800-171, a company may not have realized that they were on the list of controls to fold in and be prepared for in those assessments, right? So these are additional, even if, because we have a lot of clients that are coming to us for help going through 800-171 right now. They're checking all those boxes, and I think that they're considering for those that aren't really looking at the Delta 20, the organization that is going through this preparation process doesn't see these additional 20 as something to make sure they fold it in with the same amount of detail as the rest of the 800-171.
Yeah, that's true. I think that the assumptions that's the other thing. The assumption that the DoD makes, right, is that if you've had 800-171 as a requirement on your contracts, you've been saying you've been compliant. So since 2016 in some cases. So this extra 20 controls are really what they wanted to emphasize because in theory, you've already done the other 110.
Right.
And you just need to focus on this 120. The other important thing is keep in mind that those 110 come with processes, plans, and procedures. So that they have to be taken care of. So in addition to the Delta 20.
Exactly. So, what we did is we made this one, just a one sheet, really easy and fast for a download if anybody wants to take a look at what the Delta 20 are. And as we continue to go through and cultivate all of our curriculum for the certified CMMC professional course, and design, if you will, our breakout of all of the practices, the capabilities, and how would you implement it, and then how would you back that up with the policy, the procedures, and the plans, getting through a level 3 assessment. We also will be highlighting in our curriculum these Delta 20 as we go along and spending a little extra focus on them to make sure people understand what this means. So this has been a great conversation about the Delta 20 and seeing how the additional practices come into play at level 2 and level 3. Thanks for walking through this with me, Brian, and we'll be back with another great CMMC Explained next week. And please keep the comments and the engagement coming. We are so thrilled with all of the questions that we're getting, and we are here to help shepherd this process. So we're all in this together. Have a great day.